Explain the machine that you're trying to beat. Explain to the people the machine that you're
Yeah,
referring to.
great question, Eric. So the machine that we're trying to beat at the moment is basically big government, big corporations, big super funds, big media. What we want to do is now we've seen this, hopefully I demonstrated it through my time as a senator in estimates. There is no accountability and no transparency in government anymore. You'd ask a question in estimates, they wouldn't answer. I mean, Albanese's just passed another law to make it harder to get information through freedom of information. Superannuation. If outside of self-managed super funds, if you've got your money in a retail or industry fund, to your listeners, how many of your listeners have ever voted on who goes onto the board of those superannuation funds? Probably no one. I think one or two super funds do have elections, but most of them don't. They're elected, not selected. Super funds control $3 trillion in capital, right? If you control $3 trillion in capital, you control the economy, and yet you have no say over where your life savings go or who manages your money. Where's the accountability there, right? RBA, who these people control the price of money on the first Tuesday. Well, it's not the first Tuesday, but let's pretend it still is. First Tuesday of every month. We're supposed to live in a free market economy, and yet we've got these unelected bureaucrats deciding what the price of money is. That sounds more like price controls and communism to me. So this is what we want to do. The machine is where we get a grassroots people movement that acts, and we need numbers. So August the 31st, there was a march against immigration around the country. According to media reports, there was somewhere around 200,000 people that marched, give or take 10,000. We need 200,000 people, like you say, all coalescing into one party. We need them paying their $50 membership fee each year, 200,000 by $50, $10 million. Suddenly we're in the game, right? Because that's the other thing you need is coin. Because, driving into the city, parking your car, buying a bottle of water, probably cost you $50. Don't shout out the clouds about it in the Sunday afternoon in the middle of the CBD when no one's listening. We need to get out and actually deliver 50 flyers each, those 200,000 people, and get 10 million flyers into 10 million household mailboxes of 10 million households. And those flyers, and this is what we're going to do, our 5 key policies: lift a tax-free threshold of 45 grand. Basically, we don't think anyone should pay tax below the cost of living. It's absurd. We want people to keep their superannuation. Median salary in this country is a bit over $80,000. If you earn 80 grand, you pay just under 20 grand tax. You need 50 grand to live on. That last 10,000 you've got left to save, guess where that goes? Superannuation, right? So it's not really 12% of your, it might be 12% of your gross income, but it's 100% of your total income if you earn a median salary, right? And of course, superannuation proponents will go, oh yeah, but they're getting 6 or 7% on their super return. So what? If a house costs $1 million and you can't put your money in, save up for a deposit for your house, and the house is grown by 6 or 7%, well, the opportunity cost of not owning a house is 60 or 70 grand a year versus the piddly little 3 grand you're getting in income in your super, right? So let's empower the individual.
Isn't money supply grown by like 8?
Yeah, that's another issue, but that's yet again, I'll come on to that one later on. And then same for childcare. Let's get rid of there's millions of shift workers in this country that can't access institutionalised childcare. They can't even get the funds. But, we've got nurses, policemen, hospitality workers down here on the Gold Coast. How many people are working out in the pubs, running hotels? We've got truck drivers. So yet again, all these entrenched systems that are taking taxpayers' money, clipping the ticket. I mean, it's like Albanese is talking about giving another $150 energy rebate, right? And it sounds like, oh, we're going to get that. You're not going to see that. That goes straight through to AGL, owned by Mike, or partly owned by Mike Cannon Brooks, okay, to keep pumping money into renewables, right? So this is the machine we want to build, these grifters and these people that won't be honest and all of those sort of things. And we want to be able to actually get but to do that, we need a very active grassroots movement to do that, because number one, we need them to sell the message because we don't have access to mainstream media. And it will also help, raise the money in an honest way, like $50 each, not, it's $1 a week. And rather than relying on one or two big donors like Gina Reinhardt or whatever. And so we can then, change, build a machine to beat machine.